I'm Doug from 10 Minute Amiga Retrocast, and welcome to another edition of the ChickenHead Chronicles. This week, I'm previewing a brand new game coming out for our Commodore 64's Hired Sword 2. The game is coded by Roy Riggs with fantastic audio by Mike Richmond, and the cover art for the actual box is by Ten Shu. The game is an homage to Ultima, for sure, the Ultimate series, the first couple of editions of it. So if you like that style, you're really going to like this game. Be aware, it's full of humor, and it's full of rather racy humor. And don't think like PG-13 racy humor. It's more like rated R humor, but it fits the game quite nicely. You see, your character's kind of a sleazeball, albeit a sleazeball that needs to save the world, so it fits right in. Now, I tested this game on my 64C, on my Commodore 128D, which I'm going to introduce you to in just a moment, and on my 64 Mini, and on Vice. Works fine on all the platforms without any issues, and on the Mini, just fine, no problem at all. Now, it does want to be on device 8. So if you're using a device like a Pi 1541 or an SD to IEC, just set it down to device 8 and everything in the world will be happy and good. Now, curiously, you can use device 9 for your save games. So if you have something or you want to have a separate floppy for your saves, you can save to device 9 and that works perfect. Just needs to boot from device 8. Now, I'm testing it today on my brand new Commodore 128D. I picked this little beauty up from John from CommodoreForever.net, so I knew it was going to be in great condition. This little guy has got JiffyDOS installed, which can be activated, turned on and off with this little switch right here. Now the game works perfect with JiffyDOS, boots up in an instant, just beautifully fast. And I've also tested it with the Epix Fast Load cartridge from thefuturewas8bit.com. Works just great. Now, this little computer is nice because your 5 1/4 drive here is normally drive 8 all the time, device 8, but John installed a little switch over on the side here, a little toggle switch, where I can switch this back and forth between device 8 and device 9. So now I'm booting the game from my SD to IEC that I have set to device 8, and I could even use device 9 with a blank floppy for save files if I chose to. Lastly, I'm using John from CommodoreForever.net's new breakout box. Now this is just slightly different than the one that I showed you last week for the Commodore 64. This has an audio in, so if you've got something that accepts audio in, which the Commodore can sort of do, you can do that. It has a switch to switch between mono and stereo SIDs, so if you have two SIDs or stereo SIDs in your machine somehow, it'll handle that. It's got composite and it's got S-video. Now, I use this so I can very easily do image captures and video captures using my RetroTink and then my video capture box. Works fantastic. Pick one up. Now we're greeted with a nice title screen and some great intro music from Mike Richmond. Now you know Mike from his cool Vegetables Deluxe game and the music from Black Dawn Rebirth, among many other things. Press the button to start the game, and we have an option to start a new game or load a game from device 8 or device 9, which is kind of cool, so you actually have 6 different game slots. We're going to start a new game here. And we start out in town. You are kissing a lovely elf with long white hair. You stare longingly into her luminous eyes, one green, one blue. Your hands begin to softly caress her butter-supple loins. Okay, this is getting a little risque, until you start coughing and awaken. You spit up a clump of white fur. Ew, nasty. A screeching cat claws your face and runs away. Was it all a dream? But she seemed so real. Now, so you start out here in town, buck naked. Movement is controlled with the joystick. See our little guy? And the little cat is following him. He's got maybe nothing but a little sackcloth on, and left, right, up, down, you can already see the Ultima similarities right here. Use the joystick button here to access your inventory screen and also access these other options. Closing the window down, going up and checking your inventory, which we'll do in a minute, or saving a file to disk. We're going to go ahead and choose disk. We're going to go down to save, and we're going to save it in slot 1 so we can save our game. Now, be aware there's currently no warning when you go to open a new save or save a new game. So if you go to overwrite save 1, it's not going to warn you about that. Or if you accidentally load a game when you mean to save one, you could very well lose your magic helm of Super D Duper if you accidentally hit load instead of save and bring up an old screen. Gallery here will call up some artwork in the game. It would normally call up all of the different artwork that you will unlock as you progress through the game and finish certain quests. And yes, that artwork is quite risque. And it's certainly NSFW. Now let's get back to the game. We'll save here and hit close. Now entering a building is done just by walking right into it, just like in Ultima. All the people you meet here generally have something to say, but let's rob the shopkeep before we chat with them. When you find things like furniture here, like these bookshelves, just go up to it, hit the fire button, you search it, and I found a healing potion, and this one, and I found another healing potion. And now we'll go here, we're going to search these two. We've got a wand, and nothing. Okay, now we can go back into our inventory screen. And you see my little guy is holding onto his wand, and he's now got 2 healing potions in inventory. From here, if I were wounded, you see I've got 1 heart right now. We'll talk about hearts later. I could use my healing potion to heal myself, or I could drop it to make more room in inventory. Same thing with the wand. If I have multiple weapons, I can equip different weapons by going over the weapon and choosing equip or unequip, or I could drop it if I wanted to, but in this case, we'll keep our little magic wand and we'll close out of here. Let's go talk to the shopkeeper. Walk right up to him and we start talking. "Excuse me, sir, are you the proprietor of this establishment?" you inquire. "Whoa, listen to you with all the big fancy words," the merchant mocks. You kind of hate this guy already. "Do you have any sharp, pointy things for sale or not?" you growl. "For the likes of a poor penniless fool as you, I should think not," he rudely retorts. You are a shopkeeper, aren't you?" you ask, confused. "Listen, friend, I don't have time to stand around here all day answering to the likes of you. I got more important things to do. Begone," he scowls. "And don't even think about pilfering anything." "Yeah, I already did." "You've got shifty eyes and sticky fingers. I can tell these sorts of things," he squints. "You have a real way with people, don't you? Looks like there's no shopping in your future with no gold in your pockets." Now, this is Roy's fun way of saying there's no buying or selling of anything in the game. The shopkeeper hates you anyways. It's fine really, as you find new cool items so often that a merchant system will just take up more time. So as your inventory gets full, we just will go in and we'll drop things and replace them with cooler things. We'll just chuck them on the side of the road and litter. Oh yeah, now on our way out, we see this bed here. If you happen to be wounded, you can go on top of a bed and take a little rest, and it will heal all your wounds and save you from having to use a potion. Now let's head over to Olo the beggar. Where are you, Olo? There you are. We're going to go chat with Olo. You look down at the lowly beggar, unable to hide your contempt. "Hey," the beggar yells, "I might be poor, but I'm not the one who woke up in an alley kissing a cat." Well, shoot. He does have a point. Now let's go in. Let's see who this is. This is Elisa's farmhouse. Let's go talk to Elisa. "Why, hello there, mister. Whew, you smell like trash. Gross." Elisa holds her nose and sticks out her tongue. You brush yourself off a little bit, but as the dirt piles up on the floor, you think maybe this wasn't such a great idea. Do you know anything about an elf here in the village last night? She had long white hair, you ask Alyssa. No, sir, she answers politely, but the old crone might know. She lives in a hidden cabin in the woods southwest of the village. She knows everything. Okay, thanks. You head out. She yells after you, hey, keep that white cat away from my chickens. So now we have our first quest. We need to go find the old crone in the wilderness. But first, let's rob Alyssa. Oh, a shuriken of life. Nice. Another healing potion, and another healing potion. Now, let's go kill her chickens. Now you'll notice, now that I have a shuriken, it is actually in my offhand. And I can actually use those in combat along with my wand. Basically, it adds an additional attack. Let's go practice some fighting here by killing her poor chickens. Oh look, we found a mouse. Okay. On this screen, on the combat screen, you're going to find some interesting stuff. Our initial choices are fight, see initiative, or flee. Now, if you flee, you run away, but you lose an item. You absolutely will lose one of your items. So we're going to choose to fight. You see, when we choose to fight, dice are rolled, and I won the initiative because my 6-sided die roll was better than the mouse's. What that means is I can see what the mouse is going to do. You can see that he's going to gnaw at me. It's got a little arrow next to gnaw. I can choose to fireball him with my wand, fling a shuriken at him, slip away, or dodge. And see down at the bottom, I have different options for attack and defense here. That's how many dice basically are going to be rolled to try and beat his dice rolls. We're going to fling a fireball at him. And he avoided it. We're going to... There we go. We killed him with a shuriken. Now we go to Loot Corpse. We found a Jester's hat. Cool. Now certain items, like the Jester's hat, are going to actually give us certain bonuses. Like you see when I'm highlighting the Jester's hat here, it says +1 to attack and +1 to eye level, which I'll explain in a minute. Those are going to give us extra dice, basically, to roll with when we attack. This shuriken of life that I'm holding, those little shuriken are actually giving me plus or bonuses to my hearts. You see, I now have 1.5 hearts instead of just 1 heart there. So that gives me a little bit of extra life. This is how leveling up and advancement works, is by finding cool items to replace your existing items and becoming more powerful that way. Let's go murder some more chickens. Okay, we're going to fight. I lost the initiative, but I managed to kill him with my fireball. And I found filthy rags to wear. Let's see what the filthy rags do. They actually give me +1 to defense, so they may be stinky, but they do give me +1 defense. Fight another chicken. I lost the initiative. This time I'm going to defend, and the chicken doesn't do any damage to me, but he runs away. Now that we've advanced a little bit, let's take a look at the right-hand side of the screen. Like any RPG, you get experience points for killing monsters or chickens, and your level goes up like mine just did. I'm now level 2. Unlike most RPGs, your health and stats do not go up as you level. Only items do that, as we will see. Leveling up does contribute to your chances of success in the background, though. Life is your total life points, up there in the upper right-hand corner. Each life point can take 2 hits or ouch, listed below. Now the ouch button shows how much damage you've taken. Attack, ATAK, relates to how powerful and successful your attacks are. The higher this number, the more dice you roll on an attack, and the better chance you have of rolling higher than your enemy. DEFN, or defense, is the same thing here. The more dice you have to roll for defense, the better chance you have of defending against one of these little beasties. INIT is initiative, and the more initiative you have, the better chance you have of getting the first attack in on an opponent and being able to see what attack that opponent is going to do on you. All of these are affected by the items you find. So you see I found these filthy rags. They have +1 defense, +1 eye level. The shuriken has +1 life, +1 eye level. My jester's hat has +1 to attack, +1 eye level. My wand just has +1 to eye level. Now this eye level, ILVL, is a hidden ability that works in the background with the dice rolls. The higher eye level you have, the more successful your attacks will be. So let's dig through some more trash and steal some more stuff and then head out of town. We'll just head out of town here, and as soon as we are over that signpost, press fire to leave the village and start your journey. That's exactly what we'll do. Now, when we get out into the wilderness, we can fight all this wildlife, but notice wildlife often tries to run away from you. So here's a little rabbit I'm trying to catch, and he's just running away. Finally found him. Okay, so we're going to fight him. We're going to fling a shuriken at him. I have +3 attack. He's dead. I've got a mace of guarding. Now let's look and see if that's going to be better than my wand. Oh, I've already equipped it. So I have +2 defense on my mace of guarding. Yep, that's better than my wand, which had no special abilities. Now over here, we're going to find the old crone. See her little house up here, hidden behind some trees. We'll go visit the old crone. You stumble through the brush into a small clearing with a ramshackle cabin in the center. Awesome. Hey, old crone. Come here, I want to talk to you. Excuse me, hideous old crone, but do you know anything about a beautiful young elf with white hair, you inquire? She's not important now, she scolds you. The world is ending, you fool. I've glimpsed into my cauldron and seen the future. A great evil has opened a portal to our land, and it must be stopped, she predicts. You glance at the bubbling cauldron. Ugh, is that an eyeball rolling across the scummy surface? You resist the urge to retch. Just tell me where I can find her, you demand. Young man, you're thinking with your wrong head. Oh, very well then, give us a kiss, she croaks. What the heck? Why do I have to kiss you, you squeal. If it's true love you seek, that is how the spell works. Now pucker up, buttercup, she cackles. You close your eyes, fearing the worst. The old crone's lips are surprisingly soft. You imagine your elf and furiously blush. But then you realize she has no teeth left and gag. Afterward, she plucks a white piece of hair from her lips and throws it in the cauldron. The disgusting brew bubbles and hisses, a most wretched stench. I see. A great portal to the beyond, from whence a great evil will plague our world. You will close this portal and save all of humanity when it is done. I see your lovely elf. She will be in grave peril. She must come from the great elven city of Glamouril and the sacred tree. Any idiot knows that, she snickers. You race out of the old crone's house to find your way to Glamouril. Wait, you impatient fool, there's more to tell. She foretells, but you're already on your way. Okay, so we now have the quest to go and find the beautiful elf in Glamouril. But let's rob her blind first. Oh, a healing potion. Yay, sorry, old crone. Oh, look, a castle. There's bound to be adventure down there. Just like in Ultima, when you want to go in someplace, just move your little character right over it, and in you go. You remember the castle. King Gudek is kind of a, well, jerk. But darn, his daughter's hot. Maybe you should check in on her and make sure she's safe and everything. Yeah, you dirty lech. So we can go in the castle. King's a jerk. But he gave us a quest to go defeat the Lamia Queen. Let's go and see if we can find lovely Princess Daffodil. But while we're in the castle, let's steal some stuff. My goodness, I have healing potions coming out my ears. Now we could go and explore the castle. The guards don't really have anything to say. Now, if they do catch you stealing, if they're right near you when you steal, they will attack you. They're not too hard, though. It's our lovely Princess Daffodil. Well, hello there, stranger. The princess practically swoons at you. I don't get many visitors. My father, the king, doesn't let suitors anywhere near me. I mean, it's hardly fair. Why, next week will be my 18th birthday, and I need to be wed soon, don't you think? You stare slack-jawed, the drool practically running down your chin. You try to snap out of your lust-filled stupor. Why, yes, that is a true tragedy indeed, your highness. Might there be some way I could be of help? You inquire hopefully. Actually, the princess slinks over and presses herself up against you. I want this one little magic necklace from the Forbidden Temple worn by the Lamia Queen. Why, if you could just obtain it for me, I'm sure I can make it worth your trouble, handsome stranger. She gazes hopefully up into your eyes and bats her eyelashes. Why, consider it done. Princess, sorry I didn't get your name. She leans in even closer, her breath hot against your ear. She's so close. It's Princess Daffodil, and I can't wait for your return. So she wants the necklace from the Lamia Queen for herself, and she would be happy to reward us if we found it. Sounds like a nice quest, wink wink. Let's head to the west and find the Forbidden Temple and maybe upgrade our equipment on the way. Now, I find that the combination of equipment that adds health and attack tend to be the most useful. Sometimes you'll find something like the shurikens or a crossbow that lets you have an attack instead of a defense item in your hand. So if your combat style favors combat, that may be a good choice. Here's the Forbidden Temple. Let's head inside. Oh, look, another foolish adventurer that thinks they can come into my temple and plunder my treasures. Turn back now, or this temple will become your grave. You look around quickly, unable to tell where the voice was coming from. Her diabolical laughter slowly fades as a chill runs down your spine. You grunt and press on, undeterred from your quest. It's going to take more than a spooky voice to scare the likes of you. Oh, cool dungeon music in here too. Nice stuff. Now you will tend to find much better loot in the dungeons. So let's fight our way through and see if we can find some cool stuff. We win the initiative. We can see the snake is going to spit. We're going to weave. We now have +5 defense because of all of our cool items. And he misses us. Now he's going to rattle, which is a defensive move. So we're going to smash him with our mace. Bam! Dead. And we didn't find anything. Marakaxi, level 3. Ooh, he's a tough one. He's going to smash me. I'm going to weave away. Nice defense. Now, one of the important things is even when you're defending, if you get the right dice rolls, you'll either do an intercept or a riposte and actually damage him. So it's absolutely possible to damage him with your defensive attacks too. Haha, damage. I won initiative. He's going to leap at me. I'm going to weave away. Oh, he hit me pretty good. I'm going to hit him back, and he's dead. I didn't find anything. So we've made it through the maze. So you made it through my maze to my inner sanctum. I'll admit you've gotten further than most, but this ends now, she hisses. You want my necklace, don't you, foolish one? Ha! If only you knew of its curse, you wouldn't be so anxious to have it. You see, it was made for Quetzalcoatl, and the wearer is transformed into any manner of winged serpent. But no matter. Guards, kill this intruder now. Now, we come up to the point that is not safe for work. As we reach each boss or each specific stage, we're greeted with a nice little gallery picture, which are incredibly well done, but a little bit inappropriate. Boobies. Now, we're going to want to save right here. So we can, if we die fighting our little Lamia queen, we can get right back to it. Back into battle. Lamia guard level 3. Oh, and I'm damaged and I have to fight the Lamia queen. Let's see how we do. I wanted to be able to heal. Let's dodge her. Oh, come on. Aha, I got her. So I got her necklace, but I want to go down and heal myself. Oh, don't kill me, Viper. Not here. Got him. And I've restored myself. Now I'm going to save. No, I don't want to save my game here. Now, one thing about saving your game, if I saved right now with this version, after I've defeated the queen, as soon as the game loads back up, it respawns all the monster and the queen would be back, which is why I don't want to save it after I've defeated the queen. Now I just have to defeat her last guard and get out of here. And I got a golden headdress too. A way out. Press fire to exit. Now that I have the necklace, I could take it back to Princess Dandelion and the adventure would continue on. Now the quest line is fairly linear, but I will let you bring that necklace back to Princess Daffodil and see what happens when she puts it on. It is quite interesting, I'll leave it at that. Now from here, we could go on and go talk to the princess, or we could just go on some adventures and see if we can build up our level, see if we can build up our number of weapons and such that we have. So, what's my opinion of this game? Let me tell you. As far as the graphics are concerned, they're right on the mark. This game is designed to go after an Ultima themed look. That's the whole point of it, that kind of RPG. And it hits the mark just perfectly. Can the Commodore 64 do better graphics? Absolutely, but it's not that kind of game. So with its multicolored characters and beautiful screens and the animation's fine, thumbs up on the graphics. Now the audio is all done by Mike Richmond, who you know from Vegetables Deluxe, Black Dawn Rebirth, and many other projects. It's fantastic. The songs and the music are all context sensitive, so when you go into a dungeon it changes, when you go into combat it changes, when you go talk to somebody it changes in the castle. Perfect audio, absolutely love it. Sound effects are great. My only question is, if our little 64K Commodore 64 can play beautiful music all throughout the game, why can't we have that on Black Dawn Rebirth on the Amiga? Now how about the gameplay? First of all, joystick control, nothing to it. You up, down, left, right, press the button to interact with just about anything. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Does not need the keyboard, which is a plus when you're playing this on the Commodore 64 or the C64 Mini, which does not have a built-in keyboard. Combat is quite interesting because you can make it as simple or as complex as you want. Juggling all the things like your attack bonuses, your defense bonuses, your initiative based on the type of weapons or armor you have is really a cool feature. And you can really get into it and say, oh, this guy's, he's attacking with this, I'm going to defend with this, and you increase your chances of surviving the battles. Or you take your joystick and you spam the button, and you'll probably do just fine if you're not interested in the in-depth stuff. You don't need to get into the in-depth stuff with this game if you don't want to, but it's there if you like it. The mechanic where you actually upgrade your character, not so much with leveling, but with new items with new bonuses, is actually really refreshing. Do you build a character that has huge attack bonuses by wearing all kinds of weapons and armor that just increase your attack bonuses at the expense of your defense and your life points? Or do you try and balance it out some way? Do you want a tank that's nothing can hit with huge defense bonuses, but takes a really long time to kill something? Perfectly doable. Or do you want something in between, well balanced? Your choice. There is an entire theory behind the dice rolls and the combat and everything that Roy explained to me in pretty nice detail. It's a little dry for a video, so I'll put that in the description down below, and you'll be able to read about exactly what's going on with the dice rolls. Now, what's my opinion on the humor in the game? It's fine. I'm a 49-year-old man. I can handle some booby pictures. That's fine. It would be kind of cool if there was an option maybe to not automatically load up the gallery pictures when you defeat a boss. Maybe ask you to load up a gallery picture. For example, I'm working on the review last night. I'm out in my living room. My wife's in there with me, and I'm fighting the Lamia Queen, and I know, okay, as soon as I defeat her, this big booby picture is going to come up on the screen. What is my wife going to say to me? What's she going to think? You know, it'd be kind of cool if you could just say, load picture, yes or no, whatever. How about the story? The story is really cool. It's kind of fun playing as a roguish hero with really loose morals and an unquenchable libido. It's kind of nice. You walk into a shop, you walk into a bar. I'm going to rob the place. Whatever. It's what I do, you know? It's kind of fun. The story flows really well. You don't have any kind of quest log, but it's easy to follow along with the story and know what you need to do next. Now, what can be done to improve the game? Now, number one, it'd be nice to have an option to tone down the raciness, you know, to make it a little less not safe for work than it already is. That's probably an easy option to add. Some kind of quest log would be kind of cool to help keep track of where you're going, or even maybe going back to the old crone if you forget what you're doing. And, you know, in exchange for a big sloppy wet kiss, she gives you a clue about what your next objective is. That'd be kind of fun to add. Now, something I would like to see is on the save menu, before you load in a new game, just a yes or no, you know, yes or no, we want to load in the save, because I've, you know, found the magic helmet of doom or whatever, and I go to save my game, I hit the wrong thing. I hit load, and it loads up something from, you know, 10 minutes ago, and I lose all my progress. Not a big deal. It's a fast game. Get right back where you're going, no problem. But with just a simple thing like, are you sure you want to load it? Yes or no? You know, it would probably alleviate that issue. So what's my final opinion? Well, I'm not going to give you one because the game's still in beta, and I'm honored to be able to help beta test it and provide help to the authors to fix any little bugs we find. But I'm going to wait till the final version before I give my final verdict. But I'm having a blast with the game. Really, really enjoying it. Every new version that comes out tweaks it a little bit, makes it a little bit even more fun. I'm really having a good time going back to it. It's easily on par with the early Ultima games, just like it's designed to be. But it's just a little bit simpler than the Ultima games. And that's okay, because it opens up an entire audience that maybe found the Ultima games a little bit too complex. Now, the final boxed version should be shipping on April 3rd. And I recommend you order the boxed version because Jeremy from Double Sided Games just comes out with a limited amount of them. Now, the full version on floppy is $49.95 American. It comes with a fold-out cloth map and a full instruction manual, and always a gorgeous box. He does a great job in the box, and Tenshu did the artwork on the box, and it's gorgeous. $49.95. That works out to about $38 in American dollars, about 35 euros, or 28 British tea and crumpets, or whatever currency they're using now that they've gone through this whole Brexit thing. I really don't know. The digital version, which you will get a .d64 file with, that'll also come out on April 3rd. $12.99 Canadian. It's less than $10 in all those other currencies. How can you go wrong for like a 10+ hour game for $10? These boxed versions are limited run games. Like I mentioned, you might make 50 or 100 of them, so get them while they're hot. Don't be like all those people who are wishing that they had pre-ordered Le Abbé de Mort when they had the chance and gotten the cool Le Abbé de Mort box and the glowing cartridge and everything. Now, I also would like to thank my patrons from Patreon. Here's the link right here. If you'd like to support me, you can support me for as little as $2 a month. If you're at the $5 a month level, I'm going to send you some free cool stuff like this poster here from Pixel Vixen, and most of the other artists who did work for the Amiga Art Contest 2019. Most of them have agreed that it's okay if we print up their artwork and send those out for personal use. So join me on Patreon. I'd love to have your support. Here is my Commodore 128 saying thank you directly. So thanks for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. Go buy this game. It's really awesome. Please like the video. Please make comments on the video. Tell me what you think about the game, maybe what direction it should go. If you have some opinions, I'll get them over to Roy. Follow me on Twitter at 10mark1. But until next time, this is Doug from 10 Minute Amiga Retrocast, going to find the sexy white elf and signing out.